Hello everybody, it's Professor Malice here, and I'm giving a tutorial on how to set up the Articuno League broadcasting package that I've created, as well as show off the majority of the assets. Not everything is set up nicely, but this is to help you get started, and if you need any help or troubleshoot, just DM me. Very first scene, this is the only one that's like this. The countdown, you don't want it to loop, you don't want it to close when it is inactive. These are the settings you want. Reason for that is if you're not paying attention and your timer ends, there's a little bit of a buffer here, about 39 seconds, but because it doesn't close right away, it's going to be stuck at this static screen, so you at least still have something on the screen and don't have a black screen if you forget about it. Next is going to be transitions. To add a transition, there's a lot of different transitions. I'm just going to show off the freeze transition because I don't have the proper frame data for all the others. But you go to add, you go here, you add stinger. It gets you a screen like this. You click browse. You find the asset you want. In this case, I'm using the Articuno Open Transition Reverse. It's a very long title. That's the final copy, but if you like the short version or the long version, you might be able to use those. All three of these freezing transitions are full screen transitions. They almost immediately cover the entire screen, meaning that you can have a very early transition point because the viewer is not going to see the new transition till the animation's over anyways. And so for this one, as long as it's not 0, 5, 10, 15 milliseconds or frames are all you need to ensure that there is no hiccups when moving from one slide to the next or one scene to the next. And when you're done, you hit OK. Now you have a freeze effect. There is an OBS, a add-on called Transition Table, which is kind of cool. And all you have to do is once you download and install it and reboot the dang thing, you can set special rules. So from any slide that you have, you can get specific as if I left my countdown and I went to the game, I can say I want a fade, or I want the freeze, or I want any of the other special transitions. I think I have a couple in there. Not all of them are actually meant to go from scene to scene, but use your imagination. You can have a general rule, anything going into the game and anything coming out of the game, I can set it up if I only want the freeze to show up there. It's up to you. When you're done, when you set your rules, you hit set. Now that effect is going to take place every time it comes into effect. It will should supersede what you have down here, allowing you to use multiple transitions to give a full production feel. Starting soon. These are the basic standings for starting soon, ending soon. I guess I should have made like a be right back kind of thing, but the update slide can be a powerful be right back. I'll talk more about that later. These are the settings most slides will have is you want them looped, you want them closed when it's active. That way, when you're not on that slide, it's going to save you some CPU. We don't do it for the countdown because we want to have that protection there in case we forget about it. But everything else, restart when it's active, loop it, and close when inactive. I mean, you can see that this loop is only 3 seconds long. 6 seconds long. Beautiful transition. Sorry, I'm a big fan of that. So the next thing is match score. This was originally designed as a lower third, meaning that you hit a button that pops up. However, it does not work as that purpose because this was rendered specifically to be updated in real time, and so you would use this as an overlay. You could put it wherever you like. You put the logo in the small box, you put the number in the big box, you update the number in real time, or you update it between games. However you want to do it. You will probably use the studio mode to make those adjustments when you are live. If you don't like how big this is because it gets in the way, and that's my worry, I actually haven't stress test that, that's okay. You can shrink it down. There's another video asset of just the bar. And so as long as you track what axis this is on, you can get a loop of just the bar and put it on each side in order to have a smaller bar that goes across the board. So this is the caster slide. These and all three of them have this rule. It was to save CPU, but there is a special thing you have to do to get this set up. And what you have to do is that instead of having, there's no transparent box here. You have to overlay it. So you will drop your camera and then you cut it to the side, and you want to try to get it where you can still see the guidance lines, the little light blue or whatever around the border, so it gives the illusion like it's underneath the setup. A special trick to this, because your webcam will never fit, is you hold down Alt, and when you hold down Alt, sorry, I wasn't holding down Alt, it lets you crop. And just cut it away or add as much as you need. And you can hold down Alt, and never mind. But you do that, that will let you make it bigger than the camera, and then you cut what you need and make sure you set up the frame that you like. If you're a VTuber, you're going to need to use a virtual camera, or you're going to have to get some type of PNG or some type of video, cut the PNG, cut the video, and then overlay your VTuber on top of that, and then maybe trim yourself to fit. It's a couple of layers, but it can be done. If you have trouble figuring that out, I will help you. It's less complicated than it sounds. All right. You do it the same here for double. And you do it the same here for triple. I didn't put the cameras up. I don't want to fight with it, but you get the idea. Just like the starting screen, the end screen, and the caster scenes, you want it on loop. You want it closed when it's inactive. You want show nothing when playback ends, because it's going to keep looping. The idea here is that it's going to lower your CPU usage. You can see mine is just fine. All right, this scene is the League update scene. But you can do a lot with this scene. You can even double make a separate copy if you wanted to use this as a Be Right Back screen. You don't have to put a webcam here. You could put a message here. You could put a logo here. You could put artwork there. You could put whatever you want there. You're going to have to do the overlay cropping effect to make sure to get the borders. It takes a lot of practice. If you have an effect like my VTuber here, and I don't want to remove it, but I don't want to use it because I want to replace it with something else, just hide it. That way, when you come back, you can turn it back on at a later date. This is not going to take any of your CPU if you haven't hid it away like this. Well, as long as you have the settings that turn it off when it's not there. The main idea behind this, any message you want up here, any purpose you have is up here. You can say, be right back. You can say, weekly updates. You can have the week up here if you're using it as a talking point. You've got these two blocks here. You can have media there. You can have pictures there. You can have predictions there. You can do a lot. Just get creative with it. I mean, you can use it as another box. Match of the week, highlight of the week, stream matches this week, whatever you want. Get creative. Generally, any narrative, any piece, any art, any giveaway, any update, any video will probably be in those top three. And these bottom four spots are specifically for your matches. So you'll get this, you'll put it in the center, make sure that you check your axis so they are aligned. So if I wanted to use this 3 times, I'll go copy V. I want to make sure that all of them are 663 from the top. That way I know that they are on the same axis. I do that full time, I put it across, then I get the logos up and below. I put the date or the time down here, and just like all these other slides that have this blue bar, any sponsor message, any sliding message, any sponsor logos, you can put down here. It's pretty consistent against most boards. You can even leave it blank if you want to use it as an accent piece. Move it up. I'll show this one up. I have another leaderboard with 10. But you can use this for top teams, your top 5 teams. You can even say top 5. You get a text bracket up here. You can italicize it. You can use whatever font you like. You put it up here. Or you can even put it down here. However you like. Get creative. But it will say leaderboard up here. You have a choice on how you do that. You will need to put in your metrics up here, your place. You might just use P. You could put the logos in these boxes if you want to make them square or try to do some type of effect with that. You could just put their tag here, like if they have a 3-syllable tag. Schools have MIU or USV or whatever their BCU or UAF or whatever their tags are. You could do 3, you could do 4, you could do 5. Then you put their full team name here, and then you would do like kills, assists, points, wins, loss, whatever metrics that you want. You'll have to visually divvy them up and keep it consistent across the board, but you could just populate that with text. Okay, for the rest of this, I'm gonna take this transition off and move to fade so we get through this quicker. Here's with 10. Oh, I got to go fix that. Leaderboard with 10 is incorrect. Those are not supposed to be there. Moving on. Versus. So here I have a webcam. You wouldn't use a webcam. You would put the logo of the opposing team. You got a square logo, great. They don't have a square logo. You put a backdrop, you put a blank color, you put something behind them, you put your logo on top of it. Now both logos are filled. You update the scores as they go. You have whatever messaging here. You might put their team names up here. You might put the points above and put the team names down here. Whatever you want to do. I'm going to go through and show some of the transitions. Not all of these would be used as scene transitions. Some of them would be better off with vMix or another broadcasting software that you can program into your buttons. But with OBS, you can have them hidden away like this. And then you want to restart playback when it becomes active on. That way it plays anytime you turn it on. So this would be, that's one that you would use the transition between slides. You would close when it's inactive and show nothing when it ends, so it only plays once. You do not want these to loop. If you have a Stream Deck, you can program whether this is visible or not on your Stream Deck. That way you can hit play and turn it off and on again. If you don't have a Stream Deck, you can manually do this through the sources and get it out the way through studio mode. That's a little bit more complicated, but you just click on the buttons like you see here. So here's another one, very short one. It says game on. It's great. Fun transition. If you have a replay, which we don't have a replay yet, but this is future proofing, we have that. If you need to make a remake, you can turn this on before moving to another slide, letting the other team know that there's a remake for whatever reason. And then if there's a timeout, if there's a pause or a disconnect when pausing is an option, you have that as an option as well. So you can hide these on your in-game models, or you can tie them into your Stream Deck. A little bit more complicated, a little bit more annoying, but those are the ones I have. You can also do the same thing with all the lower thirds for the objectives. So Reggie Steele, Reggie Rock, Reggie Drago, and Groudon, and Reggie Alecki. You can put those, program them just like this. That way, when it happens in-game, you hit the button, and it comes on. There's one other transition that I did not throw in here. I can find it. I wanted to make this fast and efficient, but nothing I do is ever fast or efficient. Clearly. There we go. There's the Articuno League Sports intro. I think it looks great. Nice block. We'll play that one more time. Beautiful. Any of these logos or any of these transitions, if you want to use them as scene transitions, except for timeout, remake, and replay. Replay you might actually use as a rule for tools if you had a replay set up or you had a second person streaming on a separate device that streamed to you who would go back, but that's more complicated. I can explain more if you've got questions. And then lastly, this is the end. So 12-minute, we got through most of it. I hope you liked what I had. If you had 15, holy crap. I hope you liked it. I hope you found it enjoyable. Wasn't short, wasn't to the point, but it did give you some understanding how you're going to set this up, how you set your stingers, why you do it that way, what you can do with these so they don't look so boring or bland when you transition through them. And I got to show off all the fun different stuff too. Have fun. I'll see you around and enjoy.